Oh my god, the countdown. What the hell? That was so fast. What the hell? That was so fast.
Did it skip numbers? I wasn't looking.
It went 5. That's what it did. It went 5, and then it just I was not ready. I was like getting adjusted in my seat. Riverside, is your server progress that good in the morning?
It's been possessed. It's Halloween. The spooky spirits are they're taking over. They're taking over Riverside right now.
Mayhaps in the form of 5 murdered children who possessing animatronics.
Guys,
I didn't
welcome.
See it. Dennis did. I didn't.
Wait. Come on. We gotta welcome everyone today. It's Halloween. Welcome to the Double D's experience. Halloween edition.
We gotta do the Halloween intro. We gotta do like the demon one, like in the morning. 97.1. There you go.
Woo! I was expecting. Well, no. Oh, I wanted to. I was like thinking about that. Like spooky, scary skeletons and shivers down your spine.
Dude, they play not only that in Walmarts, or they play like them bones, them dry bones, like freaking actual like learn to dance to Mickey Mouse music in fucking Walmarts. You know what they were playing at a Target?
What?
They were playing the Monster Mash, but it was sung by Goofy. It was actually, and it gave me the dumbest grin on my face, and not like the wholesome family grin, but because how much of a meme lord Goofy has become to our generation at this point. It was so stupid. It's like, whatever happened to the Transylvania Twist? It was so dumb. It's the Monster Mash. And it's a graveyard smash. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was so, and it had me grinning like an idiot in the Target because I'm just walking around listening to this, and I'm like, I'll fucking do it again. Right,
I'll do it.
Orf, 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 orf. What did you think?
What did I think? Honestly, it was a 5 out of 10.
5 nights out of 10.
It was a 5 nights out of 10. And
what did you expect?
No. Well, that's the thing. Again, this still falls under the category, or I suppose genre, of video game movie. Despite what it may be, it is considered a horror movie, but I'm gonna be real, I haven't laughed like that in a very long time from a horror movie, of how, like, this wasn't even, like, cheesy bad or anything. Like, the beginning was so good. Like, I honestly thought, like, the beginning of the movie, like, up towards the middle, was very solid. And I was like, oh shit, like, where's this gonna go, you know? Mm-hmm. Now, mind you, I have not played the games. I played the first one a little bit, but I never finished them. And all I know about them is, like, from around the time when, like, PewDiePie. I'm guys, I'm still waking up. I'm sorry. But, like, when
I'm actually more awake than Dennis today, which is
I know, yeah, which is fucking insane. Like, I did
Halloween curse.
I did not think I would see the day. I have to fix that soon. But because I've been sleeping late lately. But like, when PewDiePie and Markiplier were playing it, like, everyone was, like, talking about it. There were sequels to the shit. I didn't, like, you know, I never really played them, but, like, all I knew about it was, like, when people were talking about it, like, secondhand, really. But from what I heard, and from what I at least saw, like, the animatronic, like, monsters, like, Freddy, Chica, I think Bonnie, plus, Foxy,
yeah,
like, they all looked great. From what I saw, like, I think they all were very faithful looking to, like, the source material, like, which,
I thought they were too faithful looking when I saw them in the trailers. I thought they were kind of scared to make a risk. They look literally exactly like how they do in the games. It's like their movie models are not different at all, which I'm both happy with and kind of disappointed by at the same time. Part of me is like, yeah, it's very good that it's faithful because video game movies are very rarely ever like truly faithful. I mean, they're starting to be way more because, you know, they're starting to get the grasp of the audiences they're going for. But at the same time, I was like, dude, no balls. Like be a little creative. Like, do something very slightly different with them. Like, even Mario in the fucking Mario movie, he's got a collar, like, for his collared shirt and whatnot, and his gloves have, like, they look more like normal gloves. He's got, like, a little, like, V, like, below them and stuff, and no one gave a fuck. And it's like, it's fine, it's a little different, but it was enough to differentiate it from the games.
I don't know, I see what you're saying. I think, though, for this movie, because I believe, because I actually saw it off of Peacock, because my sister has, like, she works for Paramount. So she has like memberships to all these like streaming services that they own. So we watched that off of there instead of going to the theater. Like we literally just watched it in my room, and I was like, in my head, I was like, would I have liked this more if it was on the silver screen rather than on my TV? And I honestly thought, like, the more I thought about it, maybe I would have liked it just a little bit more. I would have laughed even harder, though, in that theater if I saw everything that I saw, honestly. Like, there was some parts of it that were, because first of all, the main role that they got, or the main guy that they got for the main role was Josh Hutcherson, which for any of you, ladies out there who grew up with Hunger Games and maybe some other movies of his, from what I heard, he's a bit of a he's a
heartthrob?
I think so, because like he just looks. No, the thing is, he's so unassuming looking. Like Josh Hutcherson, like looks like the most normal looking guy I've ever seen in a movie. Like I've probably met people who look like him.
That's probably why they casted him, because you never see the character you play as in Five Nights at Freddy's.
I was half expecting getting like Zac Efron for this movie. Nah, I don't know, like someone obscenely handsome or whatever, and just he'd be like, oh, Chuck E. Cheese come to life, whoa.
That would have been a little extra, in my opinion. Now that you mention it, honestly, that's probably why they casted Josh Hutcherson, is because he just has that, like, very average, normal boy look, if you would, and the character that you play as in Five Nights at Freddy's, at least the first game, is supposed to be incredibly unassuming. You don't know anything about him. He's just a dude doing a job. His name is Mike Schmidt, like the most basic name of all time. And so maybe that's part of why they did it, or maybe Josh Hutcherson just hasn't done anything in a long time.
He really hasn't.
Yeah.
I still think, I haven't gone through his filmography, but I really think Hunger Games was like the biggest thing he's done.
Yeah. And I wouldn't even call him a heartthrob. No offense to Josh Hutcherson. He's not ugly. He's not ugly by any stretch of the imaginations, but he's no Zac Efron.
He's a non-assuming cute is what I'm saying. Like he's definitely not like Hollywood like handsome. Yeah. But he's also not like ugly looking either.
He's the guy that you hold hands with, that the young high school girl has. Yeah, at the park and like in the high school hallway that you hold hands with. Like he could have been Scott Pilgrim. Let's go with that.
He actually was gonna be Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, from what I remember.
Really? They were gonna cast Josh Hutcherson? That's crazy.
It would have been a Peter Parker. Yeah.
You know what's even crazier? I already know this. I mean, I guess spoilers. I mean, I haven't seen the movie, but I guess spoilers. Yeah. There is a security guard that gets, I think, murdered at the beginning of the movie. Yeah. Right? And you know who that was supposed to be?
Who?
Markiplier.
Really?
Yeah, but there were scheduling conflicts, and so Mark couldn't do it. Very sad, right?
I did see Matt Pat. That was the biggest jump scare of my life in that movie.
I heard Matt Pat was in it. Yeah, that's not surprising.
That was quite a jump scare, let me tell you what.
He owes his whole fucking career to that goddamn franchise, so I think honestly...
He even knows it too, though. I think he's... because everyone memed on him for a long time. That, like, you know, like... Because, you know, it's like, oh, that's just a theory. a game theory, and like he's just.
Oh, I hated him. I can safely say, like, he was one of my least favorite YouTubers of all time back in the day.
I think anyone also who didn't watch his content, like, on the regular, like, hated him. Because for a while, that's what we were getting and recommended. It was him.
Yeah.
We were getting that for a while. Because we didn't even watch, like, even if we didn't even, like Five Nights at Freddy's like that, or even, like, Matt Pat like that.
Couldn't
we'd
escape it.
see him. Yeah, we would see him. And it would kind of annoy the shit out of us. So, overall, there was also, like, going back to it, yeah, there was some takes that were really bad, and they kept it in, and there was even some parts where even me and my sister, we were saying, Josh Hutcherson sounds like he's phoning this home, like he's phoning this in now, because he just, I don't know, like I've seen him act pretty well. And that's only with, like, a good direction, He's, like, definitely one of those actors where it's like, yo, give me good direction, and I will set this place on fire with my acting. Like, it'll be fucking amazing. Like, is one of those kind of people. And
you could dare say it will be catching fire.
I'm actually going to watch that new Hunger Games movie.
With Rachel Zegler.
I'm like still confused as to what age she is. Like,
she got kicked off the Paddington movie, you know that, right? She was gonna be in the new Paddington movie and she got recast because they were like, you won't shut the fuck up. And like, we don't like that.
She is the one that's trying to go being in Snow White, right?
She's the one who's in the Snow White movie, which apparently, by the way, is not coming out until 2025. Why the fuck did you even announce it?
Might be early 2025 then.
Still.
It's still basically like a year and 2 months away, I feel.
Dude, oh my god, it's the same thing as Nintendo announcing the Luigi's Mansion 2 port for like a year later. It's like, okay.
But they announced like Breath of the Wild like literally 2-3 years ahead of time.
That's different. That's a major ass release. I don't know. I mean,
for them, maybe they thought Luigi's Mansion was a major ass release.
And I guess Snow White is as well, but like I really don't know a single soul that is excited for that movie, but whatever, I'm not gonna go off on that.
Funny enough, people were even saying, like, just going back to that, just for a little bit.
Okay.
As far as live actions, right? People definitely are not excited for Snow White as much as they are. It's like a morbid way of being excited for Lilo and Stitch, and even to another because for one, people, I think because Lilo and Stitch is still within like a lot of people's like I don't know what to call it, like the people still remember Lilo and Stitch from like a couple of years ago. I think it still is definitely one of their best like 2D animated movies like of all time, like flat out. And they got Nani there. Enough said.
God.
Thick thighs save lives. And for
how you think she got them thighs, boy? It's that Hawaiian roller coaster ride that she keeps fucking gliding on. I can't wait to hear Camila Cabello's fucking cover of that, or whoever the fuck they get to like butcher that song.
And here's the thing. Most people, a lot of young people actually, they don't really remember Snow White. They don't really get it shown at our, like, back at, high school. We had, like, the teacher roll in the TV. And for my school, we always watched fucking Finding Nemo, either in English or in Spanish for whatever fucking reason. And, like, I've grown to hate that movie now because of it, because I've watched it so many fucking times. But Lilo and Stitch was always a bop no matter what.
Yeah.
It was always a fucking great movie to watch. And I'm way more interested. And again, I said morbid because I'm way more interested to see how well they succeed with it or how well they fuck it up. And already, like, I remember, I watched, you remember, the YouTuber, like, Griffey? He's like this one black guy with an actual prominent gap between his teeth. And, like, he makes it, like, he makes it a part of his persona. And he had, like, a YouTube short where it was the news of who they had already casted for the roles in the movie. And Nani was one of them, and he dead ass said, he's like saying like, this lady could be a great actress and everything, but I'm not even about that. What I'm worried about is, he like goes right up to like his phone. He's like, "Where's the thickness?" And like she just like zooms in on her thighs.
Oh my god!
But yo, it's true though. It's part of a character. Nani was thick as fuck, man. Like looking back at it now, I'm like, wow, she really is thick. Like for a 2D character, she ain't no Chell, but like she is pretty thick, like down the thighs there, man. Like
I have a friend who like repeatedly posts that image of like why are men into the women that they are, and it's like those like 6 like goth like cartoon girls, like it's got like Raven and Blackfire and that girl from the Hex Girls and Chell and Shigo, like that image with the 6 of them. And every single time they post that image, I just respond with the Chell short from DDE.
Why they gotta draw the lines like that?
I respond to that every single time, and he loves it like every single time. It's fucking odd. What did he say? He says, "Oh, like quote, no, we're playing each one at a time. This clip is so good, and you're fucking ridiculous." I'm glad they like it. I'm just gonna leave this here again. He straight up said, "I would die for a woman with the energy of Chell." No cap.
Chell would probably die by you giving her smallpox by accident.
Yeah, that's true. That's a really sad reality. You go back in time and you're just like, yeah, I could finally have my dream woman, because you're an incel and you like
coughs on her by accident and then she dies.
Like you're like, oh, you think you're an incel? Like you were born in the wrong generation. Your soulmate was just born like hundreds of years apart. Like Chell is my woman, and then you go back and you just like fucking hatchu, and then just down she goes.
Okay, wait.
That's the really fucked up part of time travel, honestly.
Diseases.
You go back in time and you're deadly to everyone else, and you go in the future and there's shit that you're probably not vaccinated against, like whatever new shit they got.
It's not even smallpox then at that point. You'd give them corona.
Yeah, that's true. You'd give them COVID.
It's smallpox would be the least of the worries, which is some real fuck shit to say. Like really, like, but going back to Five Nights at Freddy's just a little bit more, because like I was just thinking like. They really... I don't want to say they didn't try, because I think that would be a bit unfair to say, because they were faithful to the source material. The animatronic monsters, they did look very good, and I know, like, David even said, like, they looked a little too accurate, and, like, they looked kind of too afraid.
That's a fucking Redditor's, like, complaint, though. Like, I'm like, oh, they look too good. They look too faithful. I'd rather them look like that than, like, whatever, like, outlandish, stupid new shit that they come up with. I'll say
imagine the Sonic live-action equivalent of those monsters before the change. That would be some scary shit.
Yeah, like, I don't want to be that guy where I'm like, oh, why aren't these movies ever faithful? Become faithful. No, it's too faithful. Why are they scared to not try to... I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna fault the movie for that at all.
And most people, I feel, who are like that, it's just like, there's no pleasing them, so just fuck them. Who cares?
Yeah.
Like, honestly.
I do not want to be that guy. I have a Reddit account. I use it exclusively for porn.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't even...
I don't have a Reddit account, but I use Reddit exclusively for porn. So, like...
I thought you needed an account for it.
You just gotta tell them you just gotta tell them you're 18 or old or whatever. I don't comment or whatever. Like, so I just like
literally... I gotta like delete it.
Then. Yeah, delete it. It's fucking useless. Shit. Reddit's useless.
Well, no, I know that. It's just
Redditors like out there just be like, no, Reddit is an amazing place. It's better than X. We're not corrupted by Elon. Y'all almost had the place shut down. Y'all went on a strike to basically protest your the moderator service like thing being monetized. Like, come on now.
Once you realize that Redditors are just YouTube commenters who think they have legitimacy because they use Reddit instead of YouTube, your world
Redditors think they're more intelligent than others, but they're just as dumb and fucking retarded as the others. It's the same shit.
It's not a real place. It's not a real place at all.
It's a place for porn. It's what it is. It's a Tumblr. It's a Tumblr before Tumblr.
It's amazing for porn, actually, because there's like subreddits for your particular niches.
Exactly, yeah.
Like anything you can think of, it's there.
And like, you know, they don't, obviously Reddit doesn't like put up like full videos. They got GIFs. I could jerk off to a GIF. Like I'll be done within the GIF and like that's it.
And it's like way less of a time waster too, you know? It's
I don't have to like skip ahead in the video to get to the good part. It's just like, oh, I'm already at the good part. Fuck it. And you know, people may even say it's like, well, like, you know, well, I like a full video. It's like, motherfucker, for what? I still remember there was this one picture, one meme this guy put up of like, he puts like, you know, like how on a video, right? Like on the player, there's like that little timeline, like little bar, like going towards like from the beginning to end, like supposed to just kind of like show like where you're at the video, and like he like gets a Microsoft Red like paint marker and he like marks each part of where you're gonna skip ahead, and it's like, you know, they're making out, sucking dick, fucking, and then coming. You're skipping those parts. Dude, you're not watching it to completion.
Dude, on Pornhub, they literally have timestamps for what position they're in.
Yeah. And like, I know, yeah.
It's straight up. Like, be like, oh, here's missionary, here's doggy style, here's when they're doing cowgirl, and it's like, oh my god. This is
they know. They know.
This is fucking exquisite.
Yeah. Because I don't have to fucking like then like go like, oh, like scroll around the video and see like, oh, where's that part that I really like? No, you already know where it is. Like, and
I will say though, do you think that porn trains men to nut too early?
Yeah.
I do too, right?
Yeah.
Because
it's the reason why there's some days I can't watch it. I just can't watch it.
Here's the thing, right? Because like I watch it and like the thing is, I'm just looking for my nut. Or like you're looking for, sometimes you're looking for like the more deeper sexual experience. That's why people watch the longer ones, to try to get immersed if like it's one of those types of pornos that like, you know, has that kind of strong build up to it. But here's the thing. I sometimes, just because I want to go do something else, or like I realize I'm wasting too much time watching porn, I'll like just fucking come, or like deliberately. Like I'll deliberately like just jack off and come. Kind of when they start. Like at the foreplay, like when they really like start to get like naked. And I don't have a premature ejaculation problem by any stretch of the imagination.
You just come on command, that's what it is.
Exactly, and it's because I don't want to spend too much time I don't want to watch the full 5-minute porno. You know what I mean? Like I came here to get something specifically, and I need it so I can go about my day. I'm getting distracted by the thoughts in my brain. I got too horny. I can't focus, so I need to jack off real quick. But I'm worried though, because like, does that shit like? Does it like? I'm worried that it gives you like an autonomous like bodily response, where it's just like, oh, this is the part that you finished to. You know what I mean? So like when you're actually with a lady again, you're gonna fucking like. That's when you're gonna get like too hard, or you're like gonna nut too early or something. And I don't think it works like that, but at the same time, I think it trains men to be lazy.
I think it definitely influences them, I feel. I think if you're saying that it doesn't, it also kind of depends, I guess, how much porn you watch, you know? Do you watch like once a night? You know,
the more porn you watch, I feel like the further away it takes you from an actual woman. Like, honest to God. Like, not necessarily full on, but I feel like it does, like, depending on, like, how your brain is wired.
Depends. What you're using it for, I feel. Because for me, and for you, it's a means to an end. We're on there for, like, barely 30 seconds, maybe like a little bit more than that, but like we're barely on there, and then we leave. It's like we know what we're here for. Like
half the time.
You don't?
Half the time.
Don't tell me you're watching a full video with your hand on your phone.
Listen to me. Sometimes I do, because sometimes it's funny.
Like Lisa Ann's lifeguard video.
No, not even that. Like I
That
mean,
one was funny though.
No,
That one was
like,
funny.
Pragmatically funny because of how ridiculous it was. Like that one was so ridiculous that it could even be hard to like get off to it because of just like this is so fucking dumb. Like honestly,
that clip being like someone posted it on YouTube at one point, and like people were like, yo, what's the source?
Yeah. No, sometimes I will because like I don't know, if you haven't been with a woman for long enough or if you have like certain emotional issues, I feel like sometimes if you're using it to fill that kind of void is when it can start to be unhealthy. But if you're consciously aware of it like I am, I feel like it's okay. Like you can watch like one of those POV ones, like those guided ones or whatever, and then I'll just be staring at it and I'm like, okay, not my proudest nut, but at the same time, this is kind of entertaining because of how like stupid this is. Not even stupid, but like, you know, like one of those like point of view ones where like they're talking to you and shit like that.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting here like, damn. Some people really like got it down so fucking horrendous. Like I came here looking for like a nut, and now I'm kind of getting serenaded.
Yeah, she's like talking to me. Like before we fought, like, you know, it's just like, you've been working so hard at work, and like, you know, you just see like, her face, you know, it's like from your point of view, and I'm just like, you know, this guy, like the fucking director, like he knew what he was doing, like he knew, like. Then there's also VR porn as well, where it's like. You know, I never done it, but it's like, I'd assume, like, that must be, like, another level to it.
It says a lot about how emotionally detached or how emotionally neglected men can be today in modern society. The lack of self-love they have, how touch-starved a lot of them are. The fact that 1 in 4 dudes between the age of 20 and 30 is a virgin now. It says a lot when I get recommended. And I like to think, I have Asperger's, right? So like, dating and love can be very confusing to me sometimes, but I like to think I'm not an incel because I don't hate women or blame women for like my struggles or whatever, but it says a lot when even I get recommended on YouTube recently a fucking 8-hour ASMR go to sleep video of mommy fucking tells you like reassuring things about yourself while you sleep. One of those. I got those recommended to me in my feed. What the fuck? Like, I don't fucking listen to that. I swear. I don't. But it's like, I got recommended to that because YouTube is like, I don't think this guy's fucked in a while. He sounds very he sounds pretty emotionally neglected. Let's recommend this to him. And I think that just brings on a bigger problem in society for sure. But one that's probably, I don't know, maybe too late even in an episode to talk about. But, you know, I will say there are people who watch, it's like you mentioned. It depends on how you're watching it and what you use it for. And I think if you use it to fill like an emotional void,
you're fucked.
That's bad.
Yeah, you're fucked.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I have done that before, but I am fully aware of it. And so when I realized that when I was watching it, I kind of just started laughing. And then I just got my nut off and I stopped. And I went about my day and I'm just like, okay. You know, that's fine. That's something to like, work for or whatever. It's not like, you know, you realize what you're doing here, David.
Yeah.
Like, you realize this is taking you away from, like, actual emotional, like, intimacy with someone. You realize that's not healthy, and so you know to stop. And it's not like I'm addicted. Like, I don't like, I love this specific kind of porn. Oh, talk to me, mommy. Reassure me. Let me know I'm good or whatever. No, most of the time when I watch porn, I'm like Dennis. Like, where I'm just like, fat ass titties. Like, just like typing. Oh, those fat ass titties. Oh, and then I'm done.
Why'd you sound like Charlie?
Those are some fat ass titties.
Those are some fat ass titties. Oh.
Anyways, that's about it. See ya.
I'm just gonna wipe this off.
It's ectoplasm. Come on, you ectoplasmic sperm cell. It was Luigi's Mansion speedruns. Only OG fucking critical fans remember that shit. Oh, man. Yeah, I like to think that because I gotta be honest, Dennis. I told you last week, at the end of our podcast, I've been on a pretty harrowing mental health journey these last couple of weeks. And it was only exacerbated by the fact that Dennis went to a Joji concert without me. We'll talk about how this is the last episode of Double D Experience later because of that.
Oh yeah, also I went to a Joji concert recently. It was really fun, and
it was. I had a great time.
Me and David were gonna go to the next one for sure.
Yeah, I had a great fucking time. He played Smash Brothers out live on stage at the concert too. And
I think he got bodied pretty early too.
Yeah, he probably
lost
did.
3 stocks in a flash. It was actually really funny.
Yeah, we should have put him in fucking Evo or whatever.
Joji and Evo.
Joji, Evo, JoJo. And then, apparently played, like, a Pink Guy song or two, Dennis, documented the whole thing for me, which was cool. It was fine, whatever, I've been doing a good job at pretending Dennis isn't dead to me this whole time, but I've been powering through for the professionalism of the podcast. I like to think I'm doing a good job. I'm doing a good job at faking it right now, yeah.
Until I press the stop record button. then you're gonna have it.
It was like, fuck you. Fucking piece. Nah, I've been on a pretty harrowing mental health journey recently, if it's okay if I could talk about that for a bit.
Go ahead, yeah.
Cool, thank you. I realized something about myself. And certain emotional issues that I may have or behavioral responses that I have. Something that I was really, really down and out about myself about. A couple episodes ago, I literally opened the episode with saying I'm fucking depressed as shit, but I'm going to be powering through the episode. I went back to my therapist for a one-time session the other week, and I had the most fucking optimal and fucking...
Is optimal the right word there?
This is part of what I'm talking about with my Asperger's. Every now and again, I have a hard time finding the words to discover something, or to describe. See, I said discover instead of describe. Did you hear that?
Okay. Yeah. All right, I see what you mean.
I discovered the most, really groundbreaking, fucking... Oh, burp! What is wrong with me? Jesus Christ!
It's the morning, or body's still trying to wake up.
No, but I wasn't even that tired.
Not even you. It's the body, though. It's different. Body has its own pace.
Yeah. What is that thing in therapy? Breakthrough. Jesus. I had probably the biggest breakthrough I ever had in that room, and it's something I realized myself. I was talking with my therapist. We're talking about everything, and I said it myself. It's not like he said it, and then the therapist just starts nodding, and I'm like, oh fuck. And you reel back, and it was pretty good, right? So, I realized something about myself recently, talking about porn and whatnot, and jacking off and using it as an emotional response.
He's gay.
I'm gay.
I have crippling depression.
I have crippling depression. Gunshot bride. Alright, sorry.
Go, sorry.
Yeah, I realized something about myself, and it wasn't even something that I realized about me. It was pointed out to me by a friend of mine who, I was talking about my past experiences with, something that she relayed to me, and she said, "What is it with you and hot women with mental health issues?" And at first, I was trying to be, I guess, a little charming about it, or just, on the chin, and be like, what can I say? I have a type. And then, 10, 15 minutes later, I was like, oh, shit. What is it with me and women with mental health, hot women with mental health
What
issues?
is with me and hot, messed up women?
Yeah. Because there was my ex-girlfriend who, here's the thing, she was with an emotionally abusive guy for a really long time. I was one of the driving forces behind why she left him, and then 3 weeks later when she did, we hooked up. I was the other guy. As many relationships start in that way.
The rebound!
Yeah. Watch that Matt Rife special, He's Not Your Fucking Friend, and a lot of guys do that. Not always for the right reasons. For me, I loved that girl. So, it wasn't just I wanted to fuck her, that was it. It's not like that. The next one, I was kind of just trying to fuck, and I got what I deserved for it. And, yeah, so it was bad. That one, the other one, the Russian girl that I worked with at the mall constantly projected her issues onto me and stuff, accused me of all sorts of things, would say that I was calling her fat, when we were talking about getting fit, and, offered her to pass to my gym and shit like that. Really just constantly projected, a lot of weird, bullshit onto me. Would touch me all the time as well, and flirt with me, but then would get mad when I did it back. Literally would double shine grab my ass. Every time we hugged. Like, literally, no, like,
double
fucking,
standard.
no, dude, fucking, like, this. Like, she didn't just tap it. She grabbed and fondled my cheeks. And, like, this is the same girl where we were watching that video of that guy from BTS dancing with the boner who, like, grazed her hand up the back of my thigh because of how horny she was getting watching that video. It's like, but okay, like, I won't, but I can't, flirt back. That's fine.
What is she, a stripper? The fuck?
No.
You can't touch. Sorry, you can't touch.
I mean, she was kind of ghetto, but, like, wasn't fucking,
You can't touch.
And then another one recently, and it's like, now I'm at the age where I recognized a pattern. These are the women.
This was before your friend said anything, or?
No, this was after she did.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was like, huh, fuck. And I was like, I didn't really, like, it finally started to set in, and it bothered me because I was thinking, like, is what I'm doing toxic? Is something inherently wrong with me? Mm-hmm. Or is this just my love language? I wanted to learn my love language, and what Dane said, also my attachment language, I suppose, or like my attachment issues, I guess, because I wanted to know if what I was doing was like normal or if it was rooted in some sort of weird emotional response. And I realized once I went into my therapy session that, fun fact about me, believe it or not, y'all might not think it, because they're like, oh, he's so tall, and his voice is so, like, he's so poised in the way that he speaks. I have Asperger's. I do. Like, sorry, my sinuses this morning. Oh my god. Gross. I have Asperger's, right? And that same friend who I was talking about this with did not believe me, straight up. Yeah. And you know who I'm talking about. Yeah. Like, straight up, did not believe me. Like, they get surprised because of, like, I'm not too socially awkward. I know how to make people laugh. I know how to, like, present myself in a room and whatnot. I like to think I carry myself well. And so nobody ever believes me when I say I have Asperger's. They don't think I'm powering through intense social awkwardness, which I guess my whole life I sort of have been doing. But here's the thing about Asperger's, or, like, autism in general. It affects you in different ways. Some people with Asperger's are incredibly socially adept, and they're good in social situations. But then they try to count their dollars, and their brain goes kaput. There's other ones who have Asperger's who are the smartest fucking kids of all goddamn time. Yeah. They'll have, like, 4.0 GPAs. You put them in a single social situation, and then they start singing, like, opera or some shit, or they'll start dancing randomly, or whatever.
Or clawing the walls.
Yeah, fucking playing to maximum autism overdrive. Like, straight up, that'll be them. And I like to think I'm a solid mixture of both, but I like to carry myself well, and I've grown sort of into it. It affects people in different ways, and for me, I realized what that really is after a very long time. And that's something that I can't believe I never really put two pieces together in when I was in my therapy sessions, when I was trying to figure out what is wrong with me. For me, it's dating. Dating is so confusing to me. And that's a pretty common factor for people with Asperger's. It's a lot of the signs and signals and, like, rules and mannerisms. It's stuff that they either have a problem with or shit that just makes no sense to them. And it fucks them up even more when they try to talk to people about it and like people tell them, oh, that's just the way it is, which just reassures to them there is something wrong with me that I cannot change. And what it does as a man is that it makes me feel like I'm incapable of love. That I'm that I'm either not even necessarily undeserving of it, or that I'm ugly or anything like that, but that I cannot have this thing that I want, that I'm so strong and passionate about. Ever since I was a kid, I remember even writing on, like, in Mario Party, the Game Boy Advance Mario Party Advance, like, you have to write down, like, a wish that you want at the beginning of the game while it's playing this peaceful, like, Mario Party Mario music. And as a 10-year-old child, you want to know what I wrote?
What'd you write?
I wrote that I wanted to love someone who loves me.
Aww.
I wrote that as a 10-year-old child, and I booted up the game one day, however many years ago, and I saw that and listened to the music, and I fucking cried. Like, I looked at it and like, oh my god, like, I was just like, I was just thinking about my young self and, like, my youth and really learning about myself when I heard that, you know? So when you grow up wanting these things and you're a passionate man, like, you're a lover, you know, you love to fuck too, it's like... Yeah. And when you feel like you can't have any of that because it is impossible for me to have that authentic connection and authentic intimacy with a person because of some fucking defunct in your brain, that hurts. That feels fucked up. You know what I mean? So I realized in my therapy session why I go for those women with the mental health issues. It's a cheat code. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's the fucking speedrun gold split cheat code in like the Mario 64 speedrun. It's like the backwards long jump of getting to an intimate level with a woman.
Mm-hmm.
When you're that guy. When you're the guy who gets her out of the abusive relationship. Mm-hmm. When you're that shoulder to cry on, like, no, he said that. He doesn't deserve you. Oh, it's okay.
As you're already
let it out.
slowly sliding your hand down her pants. It's just like which again, we're not like, you know, it's not rapey, okay? Censor that, please, Nintoonist. It's not rapey.
I'm not.
It's just, we're gonna get demonetized. Censor the fucking thing.
Fine.
But it's and I'm no doctor, right? But I think for any sort of like observer to this, it all makes sense,
right?
Really. It all makes sense.
My mind was blown. And again, my therapist didn't say it. I did. Like, after the conversation we were having. You know that moment where, like, you're the one who has the breakthrough? You push through, and he's sitting there nodding, and then you're just like, oh, fuck. But it felt amazing. I felt fucking incredible coming out of that session afterwards, because I realized I know that I suck at dating. Like, of like just walking up to a girl, talking to her, saying I can't say the right things. I do not know how to, you fucking spy, seduce me. Like, I'm not good at that. The only other times where I've seduced a woman, like, actually like that, is when they had, like, harrowing circumstances. Like, oh, it's an older woman who hasn't fucked in, like, a million years, and this tall...
recently divorced.
This tall, handsome guy with a deep voice is attracted to me.
Yeah.
That's fucking easy. All right? Like, it's like that, even as an autistic man, that was easy as shit.
If David had all those, plus he was as handsome as Matt Rife, bro would be on Easy Street.
Yeah.
Bro would be on Easy Street.
And again,
for
Matt Rife still strikes me as a pretty normal and kind of shyish dude. He just looks incredible.
Yeah.
I swear to God.
Also,
you know, he doesn't like the women that love him that much.
I mean,
he likes older women. He's like more partial to them, which I don't blame him for, considering those women go to his shows.
Also reminds me of you. So.
Well, no, they go to his shows and they act like they're at a fucking strip club. Like, this woman like made him take off his belt and shit, like, while he was doing. And he was visibly
some wild shit.
He was visibly uncomfortable too,
because
like, on
also
his face. Yeah,
most comedians will also call out the bullshit where it's like, yo, if I was telling if you were telling a female comedian to take off her belt, come on now.
Problematic.
And that's also why. It's the double standards there.
A girl had a seizure at one of his shows. And when they got the paramedics and got her up in the front row and everything, she got up and she's like, "Can I get a pic with you?" Like, straight up. Look it up. It's real. It's real. She straight up had a seizure and then asked him to kiss her on the cheek. And he's like, "No, I won't kiss you on the cheek. I'll kiss you on the head." Are you looking it up right now?
Yeah, I'm looking it up.
Yeah. And then there was another one where, like I think a fight broke out in the rafters at one of his shows, and then he's just like, "Y'all better not ask me for a pic," or some shit. Women are on some fuck shit when they go to his shows. Like, full stop. It's like kind of, Are you watching it right now?
Oh, not with the volume, but...
Okay. Yeah, but anyway,
Sage of Family.
So... Yeah, I realized that about myself, and I realized, I think part of the reason I do it and that I get close to these women and I always catch feelings for them, like when like we become close and open up to each other about it, is because I realize that is sort of my way of authentically connecting to women, because I don't know how to do it the normal way, quote unquote. I don't know how to, like, you know, flirt a woman up. I suck at flirting. I'm scared of saying, did I say the right thing here? Did I say the wrong thing here? I'm too scared to say the wrong thing. Blah, blah, blah. I can't tell what's going over the line and what isn't sometimes. I see one guy do one thing and, like, that's not going over the line, but then I try it and it is. And that's what sort of creates, like, the sort of incel mentality that young men, even without autism, go through. And when you have it, it makes that shit even worse. And that is... why I realize I go after hot girls with mental health issues. That is the question that my friend asked me that I needed the answer to. I'm like, why do I do that? I need to know, like, what is my emotional response to this? What is driving me away from having this with a girl? And I
Well, the
realized that's why.
well-adjusted girl, you mean?
Yeah. And I realized that it's literally just easier and for a guy like me to have an authentic connection with someone by being that guy. And like Dennis mentioned to me a couple of weeks ago, Dennis said 90% of the time that doesn't work. And here's the thing. You go in just trying to help somebody like that because it's just part of my nature. I'm not an empath, but I like to be that wisdom for people sometimes. Because people talk to me, people tell me shit, they open up to me a lot. It's a blessing and a curse, to be completely honest.
Because you'll hear a lot of shit that you do not care about. Which is a shame to say, but it's just like, this is all, like, when you, like, especially with David's case, it's like he's gone through some shit. He's older now. Like, he's been through some shit. He's been through the ringer. The ringer called life, really. And when you're old enough, right, and you've gone through, like, your fair share of problems, and I'm not saying that, like, oh, compared to, like, let's say a younger person's problems, like, oh, my problems are worse than yours, but it's just more like, you know, you could, like, a lot of the stuff that a lot of young people go through are shit that they could fix, but they choose not to. That's the thing. Like, this shit is avoidable.
Or don't have the resources.
Yeah.
Or don't have the resources.
But if it's, like, a lot of avoidable shit, they won't avoid it.
Yeah.
They'll do it again because they're just fucking young and stupid like that.
Yep. I mean, sometimes you just have to make mistakes to learn from them. And if there's anything I've learned from talking to, like, you know, people a little younger than me, sometimes they can be a little head-assy, and they think their first relationship is the one that's going to go the distance. I'm sure mine did with my high school girlfriend.
Yeah, I thought that too, man.
Yeah,
and I was just as dumb as everybody.
You just gotta let them learn the hard way. It's part of life sometimes. It's like, I guess it's sort of preparing me for fatherhood. Yeah.
That's fine.
Shout-outs to my adopted daughter, who was the one who, like, pretty much told me about this. But yeah. And so what I wanted to know, Dennis, I'm like, is this okay? Or am I being toxic? Because of, like, the way that I am. And what my therapist told me, he told me to be true to myself. That's what he told me, to be true to myself. He says, like, yeah, this could be part of your love language. There isn't always necessarily something wrong with that. It's not toxic, David. It's just risky. That's what he said. Like, you get, like, too close with a woman like that, they're not...
Emergency alert! The Russians are attacking.
Fucking... Oh my god, it's fucking Amber Alert. I gotta go. Shit. Oh my god.
Well, while David is going off to respond to that Amber
Sorry
Alert.
y'all had to hear that. That was fucking... Oh god, 3-year-old. Oh no.
Yeah,
okay.
I know. I've been seeing some of those signs. Yeah.
Would you like to continue receiving wireless emergency alerts? I can hit no to those now?
I don't think they even had the option back then.
No, I got a new phone. It's giving me the option. I kind of feel bad, though. I mean, like, if I say, like, no, like, I don't give a fuck. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't give a fuck about this abducted child.
Imagine, like, the fucking phone, like, then sends you another message where it's just like, oh, so you don't care about, like, abducted children? It's just like, no, it's just like, I don't want to. And then you have to, like, start defending yourself. It's like...
I bet you go on Twitter and just talk about how we need to help the children all the time, and then you don't do anything. Slacktivist.
Imagine, like, them, like, the phone actually calling you out on your bullshit. That'd be wild.
It's like the Whole Foods cashier, like in like South Park, like asking
you
to donate
like,
to the children's hospital today.
It's like, but why not? It's like, why not?
Hello, Whole Food shoppers. This shopper will not be donating to the Children's Fund today. Because he's a fucking asshole. Anyway.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Keep going.
He said, yeah, so I realized that the reason I do this is because it's sort of like a cheat code to getting closer with women. Sometimes it works. Sometimes they do go for you after that. Sometimes they don't. And when you get closer to them in that way... that makes them see you purely as the wisdom person instead
Not
of
as
like
a person of interest.
Yeah, and that's the problem with seeing it as a transaction.
Yeah,
that's kind of toxic. You know, when you're like, that's the kind of thing that's saying, oh, you are only doing this to like fuck him or whatever. But the thing with me is that it's not even just about sex. It's my love language. Like, it's like this is just. this is how I form authentic connections with women because I suck at doing it the other way, the dating way of just asking somebody out, flirting them up, saying the right thing to like activate that proper neuron in the woman's brain that makes them want to suck your dick all of a sudden. Like
them
I'm
also being well adjusted.
Yeah, like I'm bad at that. So the way for me to do it is I like to think I'm not a shithead when it comes to abusive things or like wisdom or like whatnot. Like my friend who was being emotionally abused and gaslit by her fucking drug addict ex-boyfriend and stuff. She's a lot younger and didn't realize she was being abused. So it took me like talking to her for like hours for her to realize, hey, this is what's going on here. And then I realized I've done that with women in the past, and those are the women that I've caught feelings for as well. And so, again, my therapist said it's not necessarily toxic, it's just risky, because you're not always going to be that guy. Like, sometimes women will not see you in that way because of that, and, like, that's the problem with seeing it as a transaction, which isn't good. It's not a sex thing to me. Like, these are just the women that I wind up catching feelings for, because, like, when I talk to somebody like that and it makes me closer with them, that's what makes me more attracted to them, because that's what sort of brings about that intimacy that I desire and have a hard time acquiring because of the weird fucking defunct in my brain. Or social defunct, right? So, my therapist told me to be true to myself. And then at the end of the night, as we were talking more, and I was wondering if my ex-girlfriend ever loved me, or if I was just, the fucking... if I was just...
Rebound guy, yeah.
Or the rebound guy, or, like, if I didn't form an authentic connection with her and I was just that guy. But I realized that's not true, because, like, we dated for a year. Like, that's not, like, I can't, like, beat myself up about that. It's like...
Well, she was still broken by the end,
She was very broken, but I was, like, thinking to myself, like, if this is the only way I get to this point with women, is, like, am I really even getting to that point? Or is it just, like, some sort of, like, pseudo-manipulation thing that I'm doing and I don't realize it? Or if, like, I really do have an inability to do this, and the only reason she stayed with me is because of how sad and desperate she was, not because she loved me. I said it more than she did, you know what I mean? But then I realized, no, she stayed with me for a whole year. We were having regular sex, like, during that point. It's like, no, that's not true at all. But basically, when I started talking about that, my therapist, I brought him a bottle of wine, by the way, my therapist, because I never got to give him one, like, for our last session. You know, he was a friend as much as he was a mentor to me. At the end of the night, he literally took me by the hand. Like, we were walking out the door, straight up,
Imagine if we just cut the video right there. So he took me by the hand, and it just went, like, lights off on the video animation that we have up.
I don't know.
It's kind of gay.
It's kind of gay, man.
It's kind of gay, man.
No,
it's not. It's not gay. Come on.
No, it was gay. Touching. He said to not doubt myself and to don't sell myself short. He said Asperger's or not, whatever. You have a lot to offer people, and you are genuine in your interactions.
I agree with that.
Yeah. You are not toxic, and your patterns do not necessarily reflect that. They may not always go the way that you want, but that's dependent on how authentic the connection is, and quite frankly, where the woman is at and how she might feel about you. So if this is your love language, that's okay. I just have to acknowledge that it is risky. It's not always going to work, but you're not a bad person, and there's nothing wrong with me necessarily for getting that way with women. Because here's the thing. Non-autistic guys do this. And some of them do it for the wrong reasons.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
of course.
Again.
It's like you said, it's easy. It's easy.
Matt Rife in his pretty much... Oh, shit. And, like, one of the most based things he's ever done, quite frankly, when he had that 17-minute bit. Again, like, look it up, Matt Rife. He's not your fucking friend. Just look that up. He cucked a lot of guys by doing that, but at the same time, he probably cucked the guys who, like, kind of deserved it. Like, probably the guys who...
hell yeah.
Yeah. But I also like to think he cucked the guys who did love those women, who were in, like, bad spots, and, quite frankly, would be way better men. Because that's the thing with me. You know what I mean? When a woman is talking to me about how badly she's being treated by a guy, it brings out this fucking animalistic, like, fucking raw, hot-blooded, horny-ass nature in me to just fucking...
Primal shit. It's primal shit.
I want to show you so fucking bad how a real man is supposed to treat his woman. Like, how you deserve to be treated. Like, not just, like, mentally or emotionally, like, fucking physically. I want to show you what a real man is supposed to feel like, how he's supposed to love you, and to show you that all of your problems can be solved by my penis.
Now that's
Full
hubris, though.
Yeah.
That's hubris.
Well, you remember, that's the thing, like, my ex-girlfriend, right? We've talked
Yeah.
about this before. She was only actually with the one dude
Yeah,
before we
yeah.
were together. I mean, she'd been with other guys, but never went all the way with them. And as you can imagine, he was a really emotionally abusive guy.
Mm-hmm.
He had a microcock, as you can probably think about. And then she saw me, and she actually cried when she fucking first saw it. And it was
A
kind
real
of
penis at last.
it was kind of awkward the first time because I could literally only fit like half of myself in her without
Yeah.
the extreme. I mean,
Breaking her.
no, eventually, because when you do that with a woman, eventually her pussy did get used to my dick.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
I was able to rock and stone my way.
Rock and stone.
Rock and stone, boys, rock and stone. Oh god.
We're gonna put in the hashtags Deep
Oh,
Rock Galactic.
There were even the bugs that one time. You remember? There were even the fucking.
Oh no! Yeah, you're
You remember
right.
when she had that tick when she went hiking?
Oh no!
Rock and stone, boys, rock and stone.
The tick pussy or the pussy tick.
I love that shit. Man, I'm going to the doctor's like, rock and stone. I'm like, yeah, rock and stone. I'm like, no, rock and stone.
You have kidney stones, you fucking idiot.
Rock and stone.
Yeah, he's still rocking. Just doubles down. Rock and stone.
Even when I'm pissing them out and I'm screaming my lungs off, I'm like, rock and stone. Like when you're so rock and stone that you get kidney stones on purpose.
And like you literally keeled over on your bed. You're like, rock and stone. Oh.
I'm nervous about that. My father, I think, had kidney stones twice, so I'm worried when I get to that age. I'm probably gonna have some myself.
Just take care of yourself. Because
Yeah.
no offense to your dad, or even a lot of people from his generation, they really didn't take care of themselves.
Right. But basically, the therapy session ended because he took me by the hand. He said not to doubt myself and don't sell myself short.
That's still
Asperger's
really
or not.
funny.
I know, right? And it was kind of weird. He's never done that before, but I hadn't seen him in a long time, and I think he low-key kind of missed me too.
Okay.
It was nice. He said you have a lot to offer people, and you are genuine in your interactions, which is true. Like, not every time when I do this, I'm just trying to fuck the woman. Like, no, I catch legitimate feelings for them when this shit happens to me.
It's like, look how broken she is. I have feelings now. Yeah, it's
Like,
just,
at least I was not just trying to fuck her.
Yeah.
He said you're not
Trust.
toxic, and your patterns do not necessarily reflect that. They don't always go the way that you want, but that's dependent on how authentic the connection was. So it's nice to know that it's not intrinsically wrong with me, but he told me, you just gotta know what to expect sometimes. Don't expect anything. It is toxic to see it as a transaction, because that lets you know you are doing it for the wrong reasons. You're not actually trying to help this girl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because even with the other one, before I even anything happened or what have you, like I told her, like, I don't care what happens to me. I did deep down because I care about my emotions, but like I care about you more.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I don't want to be a source of confusion in your life, basically. And I'm not saying I necessarily caught feelings for this girl, but I was telling her, like, this is sometimes how this happens for me. And if I was being honest with myself, I was starting to realize, like, yeah, this is what happens. I get close with a woman like this, and I catch feelings for them in this way when I try to help them through these stints that they're going through.
Mm-hmm.
But I also realized I also have to be attracted to the woman. Because I think I've done it with women that I'm not attracted to before, and I didn't feel that
Not
same
even penis
way.
feelings?
Maybe. I don't know. Again, because, like, Matt Rife in his special, like, he was saying, like, yeah, I've done that. I've done it so many fucking times, like, with women and shit. But here's the thing, like, with normal men, it's not, like, an emotional response in that way. It's not like they're doing it because they either feel like they have to, or that's just how they authentically connect with women. Like, they don't suck at dating as much as I do. You know what I mean? I guess I realized it was a subtle coping mechanism. But I was told to be true to myself, and I realized my actions were genuine. So I have nothing to beat myself up about, but it is something worth exploring and understanding. So I'm reading right now to some documents and stuff like strategies for people with Asperger's when it comes to dating and relationships. Because they do still have that passion. They want love. They're men and women. They bleed like, any normal people do. So I'm going to try to really learn some strategy. Thank you. To really just learn some strategies about it and hope it can help me and realize that doesn't have to be something that I have to accept about myself if I don't want to. Because I do have a lot to offer people. And my way of showing it might not always work, but that's
Jesus
What
Christ.
the hell? Is that the same? What? That's a different car. What the? No, it isn't.
Oh.
Did your phone get that one?
My phone not even on me right now. It's over there in my bed.
Okay, well, thank you for cucking the end of my fucking...
My
fucking,
spiel.
like, heartfelt spiel here at the end. Yeah, it's something that I realize I can learn to work through, and it's a pattern that I finally recognized in myself. But it's nice to know that I'm not an asshole, at least, and that it's just part of the way that I'm wired, and that it's not necessarily toxic, and that there's stuff I can hopefully do to change it. So, I promise, like, just to end it here, I guess, I promise you, whatever's quote-unquote wrong with you, the mental health journey is worth going through. It's worth working through and worth changing and fixing if you have the time and the resources to be able to do so, because I felt so much better even just realizing this about myself than even, like, solving it necessarily, you know what I mean? So it's nice to actually, like, understand why you are the way you are in certain ways instead of just, you know, not understanding it and beating yourself up for it and saying, I'm not on the same wavelength as everyone else, and then browsing through social media and seeing how quote-unquote normal everyone else is and that they're reassuring that there's something wrong with you.
They're just as broken as you, man.
Reason number 12 million why social media is one of the worst things that ever happened to the world. But, yeah, I promise you that whatever you're going through, it is worth fighting through, and you are worth it. Trust. This is something I've suffered with for years, and that I'm finally getting to, like, a good spot with it. After one therapy session, I was able to finally get this about myself. Granted, it was my therapist who knows me very well, but still.
So, are you going back anytime soon, David, or no?
If I have to. I mean, he was fucking
expensive. So if you have to.
No, he was fucking expensive. I can't see him every week now.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Not without insurance. No, I mean, I have insurance, but he's not on it. He doesn't cover it. Yeah, not without insurance, because he was like $175 a session. Like, I can't do that every week. I could,
fair.
like, and just blow through my savings, but that's stupid.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, so I'm probably just gonna see him on a need-by-need basis when we do those things. But it's nice to learn these things about myself and just be true to myself, and that I am good. I am genuine, and I have a lot to offer
you
know, people and women, and that there's nothing bad about me. It's just I have to learn better ways to show it. Asperger's, can be very hard to express yourself sometimes, you know? Even now, I feel like I'm doing a bad job, even though I'm probably not. You know what I mean?
But but your mind is playing tricks where it's just like, you know, you kind of fucking up here, bro. Like, you know, but it's like, not really. Like, your mind's your worst enemy, really. Like, a lot of times.
Even on the podcast, you know how I mentioned sometimes afterwards, like, oh, I feel like I didn't do a good job explaining this, or like, I feel like this could have been better, blah, 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 or I didn't articulate myself well, and you say, like, I thought it was great. I thought it was good, David. And then, like, that's you. But, like, my brain is, like, always feels like I didn't express myself properly, and that's, again, an Asperger's thing. Like, realizing so many of my problems, both mental and emotional, are rooted in that, is both, it's bittersweet. You know, so but whatever. I'm rambling on at this point. Point is, if you're struggling, it's worth it to fight through it. And I promise you can get to that place you need to go through. You can find a way to authentically show who you are, and maybe not even always fix whatever's wrong with you, but learn to live with it or cope with it in a way where you can still get the things that you feel like you were born in this world to do. Yep.
And also, like, just some of my last thoughts here, like, you know, you're on social media, you see on Instagram, you see on Facebook, even X, you know, people like living their best lives and stuff. And, you know, to a certain extent, perhaps they are. But I've heard from many people who've seen and met and were even friends with very good looking people. They're just as broken as you are, if not even more. The hotness that they have, I noticed, though, it's more so hot women more than hot guys. A lot of hot girls. There's a lot of coping they do with the way they put themselves up there.
I will tell you straight the fuck up right now.
Yeah.
The more a woman constantly posts about her boyfriend and how amazing they are on social media, I promise you she is suffering. Every fucking
I could believe that
time. My ex-girlfriend, her boyfriend brought her a pizza and stuff when she was streaming, and I was the only motherfucker watching her, in that stream, by the way. And she's like, oh, best boyfriend ever. Like, he brought me pizza, all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. No. No, the guy was terrible to her, and she wasted her whole 20s with him. My friend, as well, recently, that I was sort of the driving force behind her leaving her emotionally abusive boyfriend, posted about how great he was the day before. Like, the day before, when she had told me she'd been thinking about breaking up with him for weeks. I promise you, every single time a woman constantly posts about her boyfriend,
but not even about their boyfriend.
They post the selfies or whoever. Like, they post about them. Like, look at how in love we are. Like, the best boyfriend ever. Happy 2 months and a half, baby. I promise you, if they do it every now and again, that's fine. If they do it a lot, they are miserable and their relationship is not going to last. I guarantee it. I have seen it happen too many times with too many women. I promise you, they post about you like that all the time. It's good. Frankly, the less you and your girl post about each other and like post selfies,
it's better for y'all.
Like, constantly go on Twitter and be like, "Look at how in love we are." Oh my god, happy. I promise you, your relationship will be better for it. I promise.
And even if like the girl doesn't have a girlfriend now, and she just like every fucking day like just posts about like something, I have to say, for a lot of people who are like, you know, plugged in to like a social network, and like they're just constantly like posting stuff up and everything. The less they post, I like to think the less they post, they're doing well.
Yeah.
I honestly like to think like that, because
you don't even have to like to think like that. It's true.
Yeah.
Like there's like studies to back that up.
Not even if they're in a relationship. If they're like single, right? And like they're just not posting, like not frequently or whatever, they clearly, to me, it's like, okay, they're either very busy with life or they're very much like, you know, I don't need to be, they're feeling, oh, I don't have to post like about what the fuck I'm doing. Because a lot of times, let's be real, a lot of people who like put up constant like posts on their social media, they're looking for validation. That's the main fucking thing. I don't care what anyone fucking says. It's like, like if you're like, okay, happy, like if you're genuinely happy, right? Personally for me, if like something amazing happened to me, I really don't want to post it. That's for me. Not in a very like fuck you sort of way. It's like, this is my happiness, like, and I want to enjoy it just for me. But it's like, at the end of the day, like, you're who matters, not some rando kind of screen. It's like, they don't care. They don't matter. They do not.
Kind of makes you think about entire industries that are built upon that validation principle and how inherently toxic they are to the mental health of the younger generations. Make you fucking think of anything?
This podcast?
No, not this podcast.
We're a positive driving force.
No, dude, I started this podcast. I was talking about esports. I started this podcast to get away from that shit. Or like Smash, I guess, specifically.
We did make one person pretty angry. That dude who said like, oh, yo, polyamory is like a thing. It could happen. And like, it's totally not like what you're subscribing it to be.
I guarantee that dude like had to like his girl was obsessed with another person and like she gave him an ultimatum like to stay with him.
I also guarantee that,
or not even gave an ultimatum, but like just did it because he knew he was gonna lose her.
I also guarantee that guy was lying out of his fucking ass that he was in a polyamorous relationship.
Yeah, I'm fucking 2 women.
Because if you were in one, you would have no reason to post that on our video that one time. You would have no reason.
Yeah, our podcast doesn't even get that many like listeners.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, really,
it's like you
care about spending the message. Yeah,
you're trying to start an argument on like a podcast that barely gets 12 views on average sometimes. What the fuck?
Don't discredit it. It gets a lot more than 12, especially as of late.
Fair. I'm just saying, like up to that point, like there was one that we had 12 views on. I remember that.
Yeah, that episode fucking sucked. We learned from it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We're done.
We just learned to talk about Matt Rife more.
Yeah, that's true. Gotta put them man titties on the thumbnail.
Oh, he's a good looking guy. He's probably the best looking comedian flat out now.
Probably. I feel like most really attractive women don't do comedy. They don't have to. That's true.
Yeah. You usually look like Amy Schumer. Anyways, guys.
Yeah,
that was our episode for today. Here's our plugs.
Today's episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. I hear BetterHelp is actually quite good for like people like who like low income therapy and whatnot. Because like I know people who like do get it like online and stuff like that. And I've never used it because I saw an actual therapist that I've seen since I was like 15.
Yeah.
And mine is expensive as fucking fuck. That's, I mean, he's godlike, but that's like why he's, I guess, expensive, I suppose. But yeah, either way, your mental health struggles are worth fighting through. Definitely do it if you can. And then when you're not doing that, and you just like want something like leisurely to listen to, why don't you check out the Double D Experience here? You can listen to it on Spotify, or you can give it a 5-star review with 2 taps, or 3 taps, I should say, on your app. Helps with our search engine optimization a lot. Listen to it on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts as well, wherever you get them, as well as youtube.com/Nintoonist, which you should subscribe to if you haven't already. Still waiting on the NASB code. You can check that out, youtube.com/Nintoonist. We're on X at Double D Pod, as well as Instagram at the Double D Experience 21. I've been networking about the podcast a lot in my travels and my job recently when I go from store to store. People hear I have a podcast, like, I want to be on your podcast. Oh, your show sounds so cool, blah, blah, blah. Like, the business cards, they help. They've been helping a little bit. We gotta do a way bit more viral marketing and stuff. Yeah, among other things. But we hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We're done. We love you. Mwah.
And love yourself.
Yeah.
Don't forget that.
It's fucking hard, and if you can't, don't beat yourself up for not being able to do it some days. But
and don't go after broken women like David did.
Why are you negating, everything I fucking said for like the last 45 minutes, you asshole?
Guys, if she broken for a reason. And if she's gone through boyfriends like she did with coffee paper, it's for good reason. Avoid her.
Yeah. I don't feel like it's my
but love yourself. Yeah, that's the most important thing.
I don't feel like it's my responsibility to help women or anything like that, because that's toxic. That is a toxic mentality. I feel like it's my responsibility.
Don't think you're a Superman. You're not.
No, it's not. It's not a responsibility.
You're not a knight in shining armor. You're a random Joe with pants on.
With pants on.
With pants. You're a random Joe with pants. There's nothing special about you. To her, at least. You know? You're not her knight in shining armor. Let that bitch take care of herself.
Are you done?
Okay, what I'm getting at is, again, love yourself first. And first and foremost, of course, obviously love yourself. And at the same time, when you're out there, rizzing up girls and shit, just be aware of what kind of love language you got, like David does. Or that he recently found out. You gotta know it. Because if you don't know, you'll end up getting hurt. And you'll wonder why. So, at the very least, figure that out first, really.
Yeah. Before you do this stuff, it's worth exploring why you're the way that you are.
Yeah. And if you do need to see a therapist, go see a therapist then.
I needed to. I needed to see one to learn this about myself, for me to have that breakthrough about myself.
Pay for that pay for that $170 session and then never go again. Because it's expensive.
Best $175 I've ever spent. Like, I haven't seen the guy in like 10 months, and it was probably the best session I ever had with him. Honestly.
Fair enough. Yeah. So, do what you gotta do to figure that shit out. And again,
therapy's not for weak people. Don't listen to those fucking gym bros who say, like, why go to therapy? Just go to the gym, bro.
Yeah, go to the Church of Iron, bro.
Yeah.
That's all you need. That's the only therapy you need. Physical therapy.
Yeah, like that. Like, dude, that shit's not gonna bring your dad back.
It's therapeutic, but it's not therapy, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I go to the gym and it helps a lot, don't get me wrong, but it would not help me discover this about myself. All right?
I view the gym the same way I view video games. It's like escapism.
Yeah.
You escape your problems for like a good hour, an hour and a half, and then like you then go back to them. That's about it.
Yeah, the dopamine you get from it is not going to help you realize anything like that. All right. We love y'all. Bye.
Love yourselves. Bye.